If you guys have watched any of my other videos talking about rare Minecraft accounts with OG names or Minecon capes, you've probably heard me mention how scummy most members of this community are. So, today we're going to be going over some of the most common scam methods that people use and how to avoid them. I'm going to be breaking this up into a couple categories, starting with OGO Scams. In case you don't know what OGO stands for, it's Original Owner, meaning the account in question has never been sold or swapped hands before. Many people will hunt down and try to buy off of OGOs because they can usually copy the account for an insanely cheap price. After talking to some people in comm, there's really only two OGO scams. Imagine this. You just spent days, maybe even weeks, trying to get in contact with this account owner, and finally, you make a breakthrough and they reply. You negotiate a price and start your deal. They have no idea about the OG account comm and want you to send the money first, which is reasonable since they don't know what's going on. You send a few $100s and boom, ghosted. I like to call this the OGO asshole scam. The second OGO scam doesn't actually involve the original owner, but the buyer doesn't know that. Rarely, but can happen, is someone gets access to some point of contact that links back to the original owner of the account that they're looking for, and when a potential buyer is interested, the impersonator takes the money and dips. Next up on the list is a cryptocurrency scam. Most account sellers are going to want to deal in crypto so that it cannot be traced or charged back. With that, if you don't have a decent knowledge of crypto or different wallets, you might suffer the same fate my buddy Solitude and many others have fallen victim to. Here's how the scam works. The scammer asks the buyer to download a specific crypto wallet, in this case, Phantom Wallet from the Google Web Store, basically as an extension on the browser, which, keep in mind, is a legit wallet for crypto, mostly for Solana blockchain people. The scammer then sends the money in Solana, but instead of on the main network, they send it on a test network, which has no monetary value to it. Think of it as just play money. The buyer then sees that they've gotten their money, sends their account details, and then takes a while, they realize they didn't actually get the money. They got it as fake money. Next up for our scam list is going to revolve around a middleman. Unless you fully trust your seller with your heart and soul, it's always wise to use a middleman to secure your deal. Just like with the OGO scams, when buying from the market, it's really easy for someone to yoink your money if you don't use someone to middle the funds and the account. Now, on that note, you have to make sure that you're using a reputable middleman and not an impersonator. Way too often, people will copy a middleman's Discord and Discrim number with Nitro and use a fake character in the name. It's always smart to check their Discord ID with the real person's from their market profile. Additionally, confirming with them on site through DMs is a great way to prevent falling victim to an impersonator. On the note of impersonation, a more recent scam that stole thousands of dollars worth of rare accounts are YouTuber impersonators on Hypixel. Essentially, the scammer will buy a hacked YouTube account on Hypixel, go online, find rare accounts, then DM them asking if they can use the account for a video. And I'm sure you can guess what happens next. If you want to learn more about my first-hand experience with this and losing the OG account device, check out the video on my channel. And finally, last but not least, and honestly one of the more scummy ones in my opinion, account pulling. The reason this one is worse to me is because it gives the buyer a false hope that they actually got the account, and then it just gets yoinked. Anywho, over the many years of the MC account comm, there have been multiple different ways of pulling an account. Basically, pulling an account is when someone with OGI or original information to the account, such as transaction ID, original email, creation date, etc., contacts support saying their account was stolen or something of the sorts, and ends up having the account quote-unquote returned to them. Another recent way of pulling involves Microsoft accounts and logging in through a connection on their computer via a linked account. This is one that's happened very recently and people are trying to be careful and protect themselves against. All in all, there are a lot of douchebags in the market, and if you're ever planning on buying an account, be sure to do your research first and don't fall victim to any of these scams. Stay safe, and I'll catch y'all on the flip side.